What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another XD Web Challenge with me, your host, Brandon Groce. I'm super excited to be working with you guys on an amazing Web 3.0 web design project from design to animation, all together in just 30 minutes. So with that said, I want to let you guys know you guys can follow along with me in this project by downloading the assets for this project with the links down below. You can also find our communities and other resources down there as well. With that said, enough chatty chat. Let's dive in, screen share, and let's get into this. So first things first, when you guys download this, you will get this beautiful project here. You will see who this is inspired by, as well as all of our assets and our starter artboard. With that being said, what we're gonna go ahead and do is just start with getting some of our assets here. I've made it really easy for you guys to really just put everything here on the web page if need be, but because really what we're gonna focus on here is the animation. So with that being said, let's go ahead and I've kind of made this really easy because I want to really get into the animation stuff here, but I'm going to start from scratch with you all. I have a whole stack here of text, and basically what we have is all of the assets are made with Montserrat. So if you guys want to download Montserrat, feel free, but you have this in the starter file as well. So I'm just going to press T on my keyboard and I'm just going to type out what we have here. The moon is made. Start with that, and I'm just going to do one line so you guys can see how this is made, and you guys can do the rest by copy and pasting. So I'm going to change my text to white. I'm going to make sure my font is not Sugo or however this is pronounced. I have no idea. So we're going to just call this, we're going to type in Montserrat, boom. And we're gonna see what font size do we want. We want bold and 89. So we're gonna just copy and paste our font size here. Boom, or you can just drag and drop this, guys. I'm just showing you for the newbies how this is done. Making that bold. And we're gonna figure out the size for this later. But I'm gonna go ahead and draw two lines as separators. So I'm gonna click L on my keyboard and I am just gonna hold Shift and drag this along here. And really quick, guys, I am going to reset something on my computer. Here we go, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna hold Alt, holding Shift, and I'm gonna bring this down all the way here. And now I'm gonna just pick both of these, selecting this here, holding Shift, selecting this here, and I'm gonna pick a nice pink color for our border. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just find something nice and light, just like this. And what we are gonna do now is we're just essentially going to duplicate this piece here. We're gonna hold Alt, or I believe Option if you're on a Mac. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna copy, what is my text? Of pancakes. We're gonna copy this, we're gonna paste this here, and we're gonna get the actual size of this. So we have 133 pixels here. Boom, copy paste. And we are going to, what do we have here for size? We have black, Montserrat black. So this side of is bold and this side is pancakes. So we're gonna go ahead, boom. We're gonna highlight that and we're gonna go from bold to black. All right, so we have our two text pieces here. I am just going to very easily, I'm gonna steal this, guys. We don't need to do anything crazy here, but this is essentially a paragraph. Same process that we did here and here, except this is smaller. And we're just gonna drag that into place and make it 2 rows and make us feel a little bit happy about what we're doing here. All right, so next we're gonna do our buttons. Feel free to drag these right onto the artboard, guys. I'm just gonna pull them 1 and 2. Now, for those who are brand new, spanking new, I will explain how the buttons are made so you guys can see how it's done, but it's really simple. And give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. All righty. Okay, so I am going to just press R on my keyboard, draw a nice little rectangle about the same size here, and we have 4 corners here. These are essential. I don't know what the real terminology is there. I call them the roundies. And this essentially allows me to round out my corners just like this. And I am going to go to my fill section right here. I'm going to click this. I'm going to switch from solid color to linear gradient, and I get 2 little dots here in a line. And what I'm going to do with this is it allows me to just move the direction of my gradient here. And let me see. Well, I want to pick, I'm gonna steal this really quick, guys. So I'm actually going to save the colors that I have here already. My purple, I'm gonna add those to my swatches. Okay, and I'm gonna just add them to this button here. 1 and 2. I'm gonna remove my border. Actually, we're gonna keep the border, and we're going to pick a nice pinkity, just like that. So that's how we get our button, ladies and gentlemen. And our font in here is Montserrat Regular 22. So that's how you make the button. You can copy and paste if you desire, but we should be good. Okay, so up next, this is the easy part. Literally, we have the cutest bunny from Pancake Swap. Just drag Sir Pappy right into your artboard. And we're also going to drag this asset that I've pre-made for you in here as well. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to know here is that we're focusing on animation. I gave you guys all the puzzle pieces and everything else that we're doing on this channel. You guys will learn how to create all these pieces, but today, strictly animation. All right. So what we're gonna do here is, before we begin moving other things around, let's start to group some things. So I'm gonna select my line, hold shift, click, click, and click, and also grab my 2 buttons down here. Let's move this out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding shift, selecting everything, clicking Control G, and now I have a nice, beautiful puzzle piece that I can just move everything together. And I'm gonna move this up. Same thing with my Sir Bunny. Just find a nice spot for him. And with this little squiggle, what I'm going to do is, because it's in front of everything, I don't want that. I want to actually put this behind everything. So if we look at my layers panel over here, and you guys can find that right here, or you can press Control Y. I think it's Command Y for Macs. All you need to do is just drag this all the way to the bottom of your artboard here. Not all the way to the bottom, because this is behind the background, but just second from the bottom. All right, from here, what we're going to go ahead and do is add 2 more things, then we're gonna get into our animation. So let's look at our reference very quickly. We have a nice little highlight behind the pancakes. And we also have 2 little shapes here, 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and grab our gradient here. We're gonna pull this right behind our pancakes, just like this. And I'm holding Control, I think it's Command again if you're on a Mac, and pressing my left brackets to make sure that the rectangle goes behind it in layers. You can either use shortcuts, or essentially I can bring this gradient rectangle, let's just call it gradient rec, right behind our group here. So we're gonna call this our text group. So making sure that this is right behind. And I think that's a nice little spot for it. I might push it up just a little bit with my arrow keys so everything has proper spacing. Beautiful. Okay, let me catch my breath, or let me clear my throat. Okay, so now that we're done with really placing everything where they should be, we're gonna now just duplicate this and get to animating an initial state to our final state. So let's play. So let's go ahead and push this artboard 2 down, and let's go ahead and duplicate this. All I'm doing is holding Alt and making another artboard just like this. Now, very quickly looking at the live chat, hello, welcome everybody. We have Sam, we have Andrew, we have Annika, we have Laura, Josie, Jethro, glad to see all of you here. With that said, yes, the program that we are in is Adobe XD, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to be doing is this is our end state, all right? This is where we want everything to animate this is where we want the animation to end up. Where we're gonna start is over here. So what we're doing, and if you think about animation in Adobe XD, think about before and after. So right now we're going to say, hey, Adobe XD, after we go to our prototype here, we are starting here, after, go here, or end up like this. Now we do have to set up our triggers, our actions, and things of that nature, but all we're going to do for this time around, we're going to do a timed transition or trigger. So we're gonna do about a 3-second delay for right now, and we're gonna do an auto-animate type of animation. And you guys know how I like to do it. We like it snappy. So we're gonna do snap, and we are gonna do about a 0.4 right here in terms of duration, or at least I think that is. Yes, 0.4. Okay, so let's go ahead and start animating this stuff. I'm gonna go back to my design tab, and I am just going to push things off to the side. You know what, I'm gonna group this one more time. I'm gonna group my text group and my gradient together. Control G, there we go. And so now this entire thing is a group, perfect. So I'm gonna push this off to the side, reduce the opacity. I'm gonna push my bunny off to the right, reduce the opacity. And I am going to push my, I don't know what to call this, the ribbon, down to the bottom and reduce this to 0. And so let's see kind of what we have. It's not gonna be super duper sexy, but there we go. That is an initial state of animation, but let's make it a little bit more interesting. All right, you hear that crack in my voice? That's the kind of shakalacking we want people to feel when they see this type of animation. All right. I swear, I'm gonna be singing a lot of Let Me Clear My Throat today. We did not have enough water. Okay, so what we want to do, and just to recap, what I want to do is I want to segment the animations. So I want maybe the logo to come in, or the text to come in first, and then the bunny, and then the ribbon. I want to time these things. So in order to do this, I am going to duplicate this one more time. Or actually, let's go here. I'm gonna move this here. I'm gonna make room for our third piece, which is this. I'm gonna hold Alt, pull this here. And we are going to go back to our prototype here, and we are going to remove this arrow here. We did our basic animation, but now we're gonna turn up the heat. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing, like I said, the first thing that we want to have come in, let's do the logo. So we're gonna pull this down, turn the opacity to 0. We want the first thing to come in is our text here. And let's find the original X and Y axis. I think we have the correct Y, so let's go ahead and change the X here. And I'm just copying and pasting this X, right? I already know this is the end state that we want, so all I'm going to do is just copy this X, 14 pixels, and I'm going to paste it here. Because first of all, if I move this around, right, and start animating, it's gonna, Editor X is, not Editor, or excuse me, Adobe XD. And I apologize if I have said Adobe XD and Editor X. I've been working in a lot of different programs, guys. I apologize. So I understand why the confusion in the chat. Let's see. So basically what I was trying to say is if I have this moved over just a little bit off, when this animates, that section is gonna go back and forth. We don't want that. We want to have the same measurements for everything. So let's see. let's do step by step. So this is step one, our initial. Let's go ahead and push this off to our second piece here. And let's just start with that. Let's go to our timing, a delay of 3 seconds, and we have a snap duration of 0.4. Let's take a look at what we have. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So we have those pop in. Next, we want the bunny, and then we want the ribbon. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go to our second artboard here. We're gonna pull this over. And now we don't need a delay. We just want it to automatically go. So we're gonna do a delay of 0 seconds, still easing, snap, and we might reduce the duration to, let's do 0.2, see what that looks like. So we're gonna click on our first artboard, press play. After 3 seconds, it will animate. 1, 2. All right, now that was a little too fast, okay? So we are going to go back to our prototype, click right here, this time transition, and we're gonna set this to 0.4. And let's take a look at this one more time. Now we're just refining, guys. We've had everything in place, but now we want some finesse. And I feel like that was a little bit better of an animation, but now what I want to do is I want to separate the animation one more time, okay? So I'm going to, because we want this ribbon to animate in last. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, just like we did before, we're gonna take this y-axis here, copy it from our previous artboard, select our ribbon here, paste 867, turn the opacity, we're not gonna turn it all the way down just yet. Let's see, we're gonna duplicate this, our last duplication, reduce this opacity to 0, and then we'll pull this into place. Opacity 100, and let's go to our prototype one more time. Click on our third artboard, pull this over, timing 0 delay, duration 0.4. Let's check it out. So we're gonna start at the beginning here. We're gonna reduce the actual delay here to about 1.5 because I'm tired of waiting. All right. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, guys. So that is how we get, after we get everything asset-wise on our artboard, how we can start messing around with animations. And of course, this is just the beginning. We really can start making some very interesting things. For example, let's actually make it so that the bunny rotates a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It comes in with some swag. So we're gonna take our bunny over here. We're actually going to rotate him just a little bit off to the side here, and we're gonna turn his opacity off. So let's take a look at this. We're just inching, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, boom. All right. Another thing, let's go ahead and try to do the same thing with our text here. Let's try to make it rotate in. And a quick question from our live chat. There is a question Richard is asking, can we make this ribbon be almost an infinite scroll? I think that's a great question. We could actually try. Let's see. So if I were to do this, again, you would have to kind of make as many artboards as you kind of would need to make it rotating. You would need to prototype them time looping in with one another. But essentially what I could do is make another duplicate here. Or even before I duplicate this, I could copy paste this here. And what I could try to do is group these two pieces together. Now, it's not going to work 100% as of right now because I have to change file names or asset names so that the animation works properly. But honestly, what I could do is I could, after grouping these, I could animate these constantly like this. It's not gonna be a super clean way of doing this, but if I wanted to, I could group this, duplicate, push this all the way over here, just like that. And let's go ahead and prototype, push this over. Let's do another timing, 0.4, and let's see how this works. There will be a choppy sort of animation here because we did make this group here, and Adobe XD will get confused. 1, 2, 3. So you guys see that? You can do an infinite, but you will have to do an infinite time loop, okay, with the animations. So it's possible. You'll just need to make sure that you are accounting for your animations. You set everything up with your timing, things of that nature. But let's see what other fun things we can do, guys. Let's see. Maybe we want to play around with our buttons a little bit. I'm gonna delete this. Actually, well, we'll leave that in. We'll leave it in. No, we're gonna delete it. Because it is going to, I'm going to Control Z everything because it is going to, I'm going to keep the fluid animation that we have already. So last thing was play with these buttons. So they come in right here. I'm going to go back to my design tab, pull these up. And I'm actually going to not have the buttons come in just yet. I'm going to select 1, 2, pull these down. I'm gonna have one over top the other. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna turn both of these 0 opacity. And before I actually do that, I want to make sure that I have the Y values here for the buttons so that XD does not get confused. There we go. Let's grab the Y. Boom. There we go. Okay. Turn the opacity down. And after this, ladies and gentlemen, we will be done. Oh, hold up. See, this is why I needed to let me Control Z everything. After we had that question from the live chat, some certain things got a little messed up. 1, 2, 3, perfect. All right, let me go ahead. Let me try this last time. Aha, okay. So we are going to need to grab the Y from here and make those changes over here to our buttons. 1 and 2. All right, let's play. Close. Close. Now, for some reason, we do have a little bit of, and I think it's because of the naming of the assets, ladies and gentlemen. That's one thing I do want to remind you heavily. Make sure that everything that you are making in Adobe XD has the same file names. The only reason that the buttons are kind of coming in and coming out is because of the changes in the actual names. For example, if you guys looked at my layers, the buttons are called Group 12, Group 7. You want to have clean names for your buttons, or else Adobe XD is like, where's the button that we're supposed to animate? We have no idea. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to let you guys know this has been exciting, and thank you so much for you guys' questions in the chat, but we do have to close up. So ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you, if you guys want to join our Adobe communities, if you guys want to have the assets for this follow along at this challenge, all those links are down in the description. And with that said, thank you guys for hanging out, and do be sure to hang out on Behance for other design challenges, videos, and amazing creatives, and all the other cool stuff that we have. So with that said, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on another one. Have a great day. Peace.